Please be advised this video is for entertainment and or educational purposes only. Always do your own research to make and come to your own conclusions. This video does contain speculation and opinions. Thank you. Chris and Shannan Watts, the family next door. Famous home on Saratoga Trail for sale again. Design and decor changes, virtual tour. The home that is known to many as the American home is located at 2825 Saratoga Trail in Frederick, Colorado. It has seen its share of drive-bys and cameras taking its photo due to its known backstory, where it was believed Chris had unalived his wife Shannan inside back in 2018. The home is back on the market for sale on Zillow as Chris serves 5 life sentences behind bars. The home was Shannan's absolute dream home, where she lived in it only for a short period of time with her husband and 2 daughters, Bella and Cece, before her life was tragically taken away. Many people who followed the case believe Chris did indeed unalive pregnant Shannan at the residence when she arrived home from a trip where it was believed that she had instantly gone to him and confronted him about the spendings while she was away and possibly him cheating. The home is very spacious and grand inside. Shannan spent time making it perfectly the way she wanted it, and she kept it very neat and organized at all times. She had bold color choices and a very unique style. For the longest time, the home sat abandoned and at times loaded with letters, balloons, stuffed animals in memory of Shannan and the girls. The yard became yellow from not being watered and not being taken care of, as Chris Watts sat in jail and the home sat in limbo, as if it was just yesterday when investigators and law enforcement were inside looking for clues. The girls' swing set sat in the backyard untouched and eerily sad. The home was on the market since 4/18/19 and saw many changes in its price and advertising. It was finally removed off the market in July of 2019 and was announced that it was sold for $600K November 22nd of 2022. The family had done some remodeling and many changes. The home looked lived in and brought back life, despite the rumors and fear that it was haunted or evil. The last family seemed to only have made it their home for just about 2 years. For the longest time, it seemed as if no one wanted this house and it was going to be on the market forever. At one point, people were calling it to be demolished and have it rebuilt from the ground up. Even some neighbors from the time the Watts family had lived there have now left the area and moved away. Many were shocked to see the price tag, especially compared to the other homes on the block. This 5-bedroom residence with 4 bathrooms at 6,181 square feet was heavily known and heavily shown and featured in the 2020 Netflix doc American The Family Next Door. It was not always up for grabs to the public, as the property went into bankruptcy after the events that took place in 2018. In the aftermath of the unalivings, the house was taken over by the bank and eventually, over some time, found a buyer in that year of 2022 for $600K, like we discussed earlier. That exact owner has now put the home back on sale and listed it for a whopping insane $775K. Of course, the listings in relation to this home do not disclose or mention the events that took place because it is not required in that state. The house has been updated and renovated with a new roof, exterior color, and a covered porch. The home is now just over 10 years old, as it was built in 2013, and it's in great distance and location to local parks, restaurants, and some well-known good schools. It's no-brainer why Shannan loved her home and location. Shannan had finally made it her dream home back on 5/1/2013, where it sold for only about $400K. It does state on its listing that they ask no photos or video be taken while inside viewing. This is most likely to avoid people who want to just tour it and check it out due to its history. It is a very beautiful home, and each owner has done a beautiful job with it. But for me personally, I don't think I could be able to stomach it to live there, knowing the history and the story behind it all. And if the owners didn't know, they definitely found out over time. Would you be able to live there? Would you pay this type of money for that home and that situation? And I can't lie, it is a little creepy that the people that did move in both had 2 girls and a boy. And Shannan was expecting a boy. If you don't know the whole case and story, like I said, there is a Netflix documentary series about the Watts family. Just a few things to go over and jot your memory. Christopher Lee Watts and Shannan Rusek had both been from North Carolina. Christopher from Spring Lake and Shannan was from Aberdeen. They met in 2010 and they were married November 3rd, 2012. The couple had the 2 daughters, Bella Marie and Celeste Cece. At the time of Shannan's passing, she was 15 weeks pregnant, and the boy was to be named Nico. They did purchase, like I said before, the home in 2013, but the family did declare bankruptcy in 2015. Christopher at the time was working for Anadarko Petroleum, and Shannan was working from home, and she was selling a product called Thrive for a multi-level marketing company called Level, or some people pronounced it as Level. It all started where at approximately 1:48 a.m. on a Monday, August 13, 2018, Shannan returned from a business trip to Arizona. She was driven home by her friend and colleague Nicole Atkinson, who was very, very involved in the finding out what happened to her friend. Over that weekend, Chris Watts had been home with their daughters. Later that day, Shannan and the girls were reported missing by Atkins, who became concerned when Shannan missed a scheduled doctor's appointment that they were going to go together to. And since she failed to return her text messages, she got really worried because that wasn't like Shannan. She was very, very fast in response. She was always on her phone. And then after she missed a business meeting, that was like a red flag. So she went to the house around 12:10 p.m. When the doorbell and the knocks went unanswered, Nicole notified Christopher. So she called him, who was at work. And she had a weird feeling, so she called the police department. She also claimed that she saw that Shannan's car was still in the garage and that the baby seat, I believe, was in there still. So she really, really was starting to panic that maybe she's in the house and something happened. So an officer arrived to conduct a welfare check around 1:40. And during the welfare check, Christopher gave the police officer permission to search the house, where the family dog was discovered unharmed, but no sign of Shannan or the girls. They saw her purse containing her keys and her medicine. Her phone was later located between the couch cushions in the family home as well. In her car, which still had contained the girls' car seats, it was sitting in the garage, and her wedding ring was found on the bedside table. Eventually, after search and investigators and canines, Christopher Watts was arrested on August 15th, 2018. According to the arrest affidavit and footage from a security camera in the interview room, he failed the polygraph test and subsequently confessed to unaliving Shannan. He asked to speak with his father before confessing. According to the affidavit, Watts was having an affair and claimed he asked for a separation from Shannan. During the investigation, he claimed Shannan had strangled the girls in response to his request for that separation and divorce, and that he had then strangled her pretty much in return in a fit of rage and transported the bodies to a remote oil storage site leased by his employer, Anadarko. And the person he was having the affair with, Nicole Kessinger, she was his co-worker at Anadarko as well. It's all just so sad. What do you guys think about the Watts case? And also, how do you feel about this home being for sale again and that they don't have to disclose what happened? Tell me what you think in the comments down below. I'm Linda, and that's For the Record, Your Honor.